Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today, we're doing the lowest scoring NBA All-Stars Ultimate Draft, and I'm here with my guy, Reek Knows Who's. How's it going, my man?
Doing good, man. I appreciate the invite back to the channel, man. It's always fun doing these different kind of trivia and drafts with you, man. So it's an honor as always.
Yeah, usually we've been doing, the baloney basketball. I've been on your guys' stuff for 3 Point Weekly. Obviously, you're a 3-time champion on my tournaments, but it's been a while since we've done a draft, probably over a year, when we did the ultimate draft. And so now we're going to do this again today. So we're going to do basically 12 rounds. Each of us are going to get a pick, and we're including every player that was the lowest scoring all-star every single season. So just last season, the lowest scoring all-star was like Jaren Jackson Jr. So he would be the only guy from that year. And basically, we went through every single year until the beginning of time, essentially, and we put all those guys into one. That's what we're going to be picking today, and we're going to be picking them based on their prime form. So not the form of them in their in their like maybe worst moment for some of these guys. Other than that, though, I mean, we'll decide the order. I think we should do, kind of like a rock paper scissors with our eyes closed, and then we'll open it up. So are you ready for that?
Yeah, let's get it, man.
All right, got my eyes closed, ready, and we'll do it on shoot, okay?
Yep.
All right, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, we can open.
I'm open. I got scissors.
I had rock. Okay, so I guess I'm taking the first pick, which is still not bad because we're going to be alternating. So you will get, even though you get the second pick in that round, or in the first round, I will get the second pick in round 2. And so
Okay.
from there, but yeah, okay, so the first pick in this draft, I guess to get us started, I'm looking at this pool that we have, and there's a lot of big men, a lot of quality big men. So I'm thinking maybe I might need a guard that I can trust scoring. And, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with Allen Iverson, number 1.
That's the right pick. I think there's only 2 guys that are like clearly above the rest because you need that like franchise go-to scorer. So AI is a great pick,
and he's kind of an exception too because it's like his scoring, like we know he's one of the elite scorers. It just happened he had one season where he made the cut, so I had to take advantage of it.
Exactly. Well, since you took AI, I got to take Dirk. I need somebody that can be that go-to guy. Has shown in his prime that he can be the best player on the championship team. So I think that was the easy pick right there. And now you got to build teams around 2 guys that aren't good defenders. So, we definitely got our work cut out for us. So I got the next pick I got the first pick in the second round, right?
Yes, you do. I was actually, and just to throw a tidbit in there, I was thinking about picking Dirk as well before you snatched him up.
Yeah,
so
it's
tough.
It depends on what kind of team you're trying to build, man. Like it's tough. So okay, so like you said, there's a lot of good bigs in this draft, but I feel like I gotta shore up my guard spot, and I would like to have somebody that can kind of be that second guy to Dirk's number 1 option. And I think Chauncey Billups is the best guy for my team right now. So I'm going to take Chauncey Billups, Finals MVP. That's proven to be one of those guys, super clutch. Him and Dirk in the 1-2 game, late game situations, I think would be really elite. So I'll take Chauncey here.
Yeah, that's a solid pick. As you said, a Finals MVP. We already know Dirk is a Finals MVP too. So you got 2 winners on your squad. Puts me in an interesting situation because you obviously got 2 guys who are not just, dudes that could do it on the highest level, but elite shooters too. And Allen Iverson's an elite scorer, but as a shooter, probably would take Chauncey Billups over him. So I'm going to need to pay attention a little bit to that moving forward. Am I going to draft that way right now? I might actually, because I think not with this pick, but I think the first pick I'm going to go with is, I definitely want to have a solid big man. I'm going to have to take probably the best available center, and that's going to be Bill Russell.
Great pick.
I think you can appreciate that as a Celtics fan yourself.
Amazing pick, man. Like, no argument. Like, that's if there's going to be a center taken off the board first, it has to be Russell in this draft. Even though there's some really good options too, like behind him.
There are indeed a lot of good options. But so that's our first 2 rounds. So the third round, my first pick, I'm not going to lean on another great center, but I'm going to lean actually, like I said, I need some shooting, and I'm looking at some of the point guards. There's a lot of pure point guards out there, but I think there's one in particular that was an elite shooter, and I'm going to go with John Stockton.
Okay, yep. Stockton, good offensive player, solid, a good defender too in his time. So that's a good pick. That's a great pick, and definitely the best shooter left on the board.
I couldn't get too far behind in the shooting category.
Hey man, I get it. This is where it gets a little tough. Like these next few picks, man. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get my center out of the way. There's some guys, man. Like it's tough to pick one of these guys. But if I had to pick one, I think I'm gonna take. I'm between two guys. I can't lie. I'm gonna take Ben Wallace though. I'm gonna take Ben Wallace. I'm gonna take Ben Wallace. We've seen what he's done on the big stage. Another champion, multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year. Was the anchor of one of the best defenses in the 21st century. There's some guys that are elite that are still on the board, but Ben Wallace was that dude. So I'm gonna take him here.
You could draft your other guy now, but you're probably not gonna.
Two bigs back to back would be kind of tough because my guard pool it's a little light right now. Man, I would love to go with some more shooting, but there's not that many guys right now on the board. Given that, Chauncey can stretch the floor, I'd like to get a bigger guard that can play on the ball. Could probably, be comfortable playing off the ball because he played with so much elite talent during his time. Take Dennis Johnson, really good defender. And he's another winner. So, that's what we're building, man. We're building guys that just know how to get it done, can play a variety of different roles. And Dennis Johnson could be a perfect backcourt mate with Chauncey Billups for my team.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about, even though I already have a point of shooting guard, I was thinking like, maybe I could draft Dennis Johnson and think about how I could maybe fix that in there, but he's stolen from me, unfortunately. But right now I got Stockton at the point, I got Allen Iverson at the 2. He'll be the bucket getter, and then Bill Russell down low. I think I need a power forward, but some of these other guys on here, they're more so like, this is just kind of tough. Like I kind of want someone who can score, but also want someone who's a little bit more versatile. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you're not going to get a lot of those options here. And so this might be, I guess, the shock pick right now. But because he's the best shooting center or power forward probably there that I know can score at a high level, and I don't have one at power forward, and he can also defend. He's a defensive player of the year. I'm going to go with Jaren Jackson Jr., actually.
Okay. I don't hate it. There's some guys on the board that I was thinking about taking kind of early just because that shooting is so valuable in this draft. So I like that pick.
I just feel like there's a lot of players, especially like power forward and center right now, that are like, they're kind of like enforcers, they're leaders, and they could like kind of like juice up a team, you know what I mean? That I feel like I might be able to get one of those later. Like, it's going to be rare to get another guy who can stretch the floor and defend as well, and kind of has that size, but can also maybe play like a 4-out 1-in style. So had to go with Jaren Jackson Jr. there. If you asked me beforehand if I was going to walk away with picking him in the 4th round, probably wouldn't have thought that. But sometimes you gotta strategize on the fly. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So I think my 5th pick though, I need, the biggest thing I'm missing is a small forward, and I probably should go for one considering that's like the least of any position there is, and I don't have one. This is so tough because I'm thinking between a couple, but I feel like you're probably gonna pick one that I do not pick here. So I'm gonna just lock in. Obviously John Stockton, great defender back in his day. and Allen Iverson, has his moments defensively, but not totally. You know what I mean? So I think prioritizing a small forward that can lock down is maybe a little bit more important than a sharpshooter. So I'm gonna have to go with Alvin Robertson at my small forward.
That was definitely gonna be my pick. So good call there. Great call taking him. So yeah, I mean the small forward position it's tough.
There's only like about 5 guys. I mean, like there's some that could kind of fluctuate, but I tried to organize it based on like primary position, and like there's a couple guys who probably aren't even mainly small forwards, but I kind of put them in there because I'm like, there's just not enough,
Very, very, very true. Man, you know what? I'm gonna take Draymond Green here. Take Draymond Green. Look, we're talking about prime versions of self. His best season, he was a near 40% for three-point shooter. So if we're getting that version of Draymond with the elite defense that he was providing, the playmaking, I think he fits right in on this team. That can let Chauncey alleviate some of that point guard role off of him too, along with Dennis Johnson. Oof. Yeah, we got a lot of defenders in the starting 5, man. Like we're surrounding Dirk with some guys that can really guard up. And this was the other guy that I wanted to take last round. Dikembe Mutombo. I'm gonna take him. That shot blocking, rim protection ability, super elite. Maybe in certain matchups, he might be better suited than Ben Wallace. Who knows? But having those two as your guys that are protecting the rim, I really like that a lot.
Yeah, and as for Draymond, I was thinking about him too. I just felt like if I had not picked Bill Russell, I probably would have taken Draymond and maybe even like gone that route of like a Draymond and Mutombo back to back or something. But it's like it just kind of felt redundant because it's like I got more so like 2-point forward / centers essentially. That while like you said, Draymond at his best, like he could shoot like near 40% at least 1 year or something, but I think that's also a little bit based on the system he was provided with, and you know what I mean.
True.
So I'll for this round, I kind of got one at every position. So now I'm kind of thinking like my second unit essentially. And good thing I have back-to-back picks. It seemed like you're kind of going more so the size route. So I need to get guys that can, space the floor, maybe play a little bit quicker. One guy who's going to space the floor, probably one of the best shooters remaining on here, and I was tempted to take him last round. Good thing you didn't take him. I'm going to go with my guy, the hot sauce, Kyle Korver.
God, I was really thinking about it. Like, instead of Draymond, that might have been my pick, but that's the best shooter probably in this draft, to be honest. You could argue Dirk.
Yeah. But you did make a good like back-to-back picks though, like with Draymond and Mutombo, but that was my one thing. I'm like, man, if he takes Korver too, like I might be finished, But no, I mean that was still a good back-to-back pick. And then, also, you know what? I think I could take him. There's a lot of options at pure point guards on this list, and I want to have that energy too to match you. I'm gonna go with Dennis Rodman.
I like that pick.
I was not thinking about it for a while, kind of for the same reasons why I wasn't gonna pick Draymond, but I don't know. I feel like at this point, like we're about 7 picks in. Obviously, the wing depth is horrid. So I mean, I got to do what I got to do. I got to kind of combat you, and also like maybe get a guy who can shoot as well.
The wing depth is definitely rough. Definitely rough. I like those picks. There are some pure guys on the board for sure. A couple guys that I really like here at the guard spot, but the best one available is Jason Kidd. Got to take him. Got to take him, man. And J Kidd can go at multiple positions, man. He can run a different variety of roles. Even though prime Jason Kidd wasn't a really sound jump shooter, but defensively he's there, playmaking he's there, putting pressure on the rim he's there. So I like Jason Kidd for that spot. Then man,
it's starting to get tough.
Couple different ways. I feel like I gotta have some guys that can just be on the wing, right? because the depth is so poor there. Like, already got Draymond running out of position, which is just like, it's a little iffy. Maybe Dennis Johnson. I don't know. Maybe you can run a little bit of wing in this league, but I have to go. Bobby Jones, best guy, probably available. I have to go with Bobby Jones on the wing. Known from those Sixer teams that were in 2K back in the day, so we'll go with Bobby Jones here.
Yeah, that's the one other reason too why I just went for my Alvin Robertson and Korver so early, because I'm like, it's gonna filter out. You know what I mean? Like, as much as Dennis Johnson probably could play the 3, it's like I would also like to have something else too to bank on. But Bobby Jones is a nice pick. I was thinking about him a little bit too when I picked Alvin Robertson, but I was thinking it's either one or the other, and I need maybe someone who, especially with my 2 guards that might be undersized, like I need a guy who might be able to take one of those guys or something like that. But yeah, I like those picks. Obviously, Jason Kidd's another good one too. For me, I'm, looking at my squad, I got like kind of a backup 4. I got a backup 3. So, and I feel like I'm kind of going reverse order from how I started. But, right now I'm going to go with, where are we in round 8? Yeah, round 8. I'm going to go with, a guy that can run the show. Probably of all these point guards on here, the best scoring point guard that remains. And he also led the league in assists per game at one point. And, I met him over the summer too. So I got to give him some love. I'm going with my guy, Lenny Wilkins, on my team.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, once you took Kidd, I'm like, I got to get Lenny Wilkins. Can't let you snatch up all the elite point guards. But yeah, so he's gonna be running my second unit, and then on the bench as well, we're in around 9. This is really interesting. And I don't know if there's anyone that would maybe classify as a great shooter that's left in the point guard or shooting guard category. So I think I'm gonna kind of hold on that. I'm gonna see if I can get another, elite big man. And there's, with elites like Bill Russell, he can defend at a high level. Even could score. Maybe he wasn't asked to score as much, but he could score as well. But I'm looking at on here, this is the lowest scoring All-Stars Ultimate Draft. So most of these guys, just didn't have scoring in their ability. Some of these guys did, and one of these guys that did, and the only reason he's really on this whole draft is because he was injured all but like 5 games that year. So it's kind of like a little bit of a fake All-Star appearance. But he is my guy. He's my favorite center ever, my second favorite player ever. I'm going with Yao Ming.
Okay. I like that.
It's going to be tough to stop him. I mean, even Shaq struggled, at points guard. So
very, very, very true. Yao Ming, that's a great pick. That is a great pick. Okay, looking at my team, got my backup 1, got my backup 5. Bobby Jones on the wing in the second unit. I like where I'm at. I do. I like where I'm at. You're mentioning, big man. Like, this is a very that's a top heavy position right there. When you were talking about offense, I was thinking you were going a different route, and I feel like I need some pop off that bench from the front court spot. So I like Jack Sigma here. Somebody that's averaged like close to 18 points per game, 15 point per game scorer in his career, and low key for his time, could stretch the floor a little bit. Like, for his time, could stretch the floor. Towards the end of his career, he's taking like a couple threes a game. So I like Jack Sigma here. I think he can adjust. I think, if we needed more offensive pop because we got Ben Wallace, we got Mutombo, Jack Sigma can provide that. And then my next guy, I need some more toughness. I need another enforcer. Charles Oakley is the guy. Taking Charles Oakley.
Very interesting pick. I like that combination there in the front court with Charles Oakley and Jack Sigma. But yeah, I feel like Jack Sigma, he's kind of underrated. Not enough people give him his credit. And like, I was thinking about him actually a little bit more than some of the guys I have above him in our pool here that we're looking at, like for the centers, just because of I'm thinking like the scoring ability, and I feel like maybe he could score in some ways that some of these other guys couldn't. With that being said, though, I've been thinking about my team, and obviously, I picked Iverson in the first round, Stockton in the third round, and then, I got Lenny Wilkins as my backup point. I'm thinking maybe I'll put Kyle Korver as my backup too, and now that I'm thinking about it. And this might seem kind of crazy because, this guy, he did play center, he did play power forward back in the day. But I think given that my starting small forward isn't an elite shooter anyways, and Alvin Robertson, maybe to have the consistency with the team, we can throw in another guy in there that can play small forward there, but he's an elite defender. And he's probably, in today's day, he probably would be a small forward just because he was undersized as a center. I'm going to go with Wes Unseld as my pick.
Okay. He was on the board a little longer than I anticipated.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. I just couldn't leave him. He was going to get picked eventually. I'm like, I think now it might be the time, especially because I'm like, now I recognize Korver is going to be backing up Iverson on my team, like for the guard position. And then... yeah, so that's 10 picks. So we have our last 2 rounds, where I start round 11, you'll start round 12. And I think I got, most of my team. Yeah, I mean, like I got like Rodman, Korver's the backup too. Yeah, I mean, so I'm feeling pretty good about my team. Maybe just one other guy that I might want to run the show off the bench. It might be like kind of like a dagger to your heart, essentially, because I'm going to pick a Celtic, and I'm going to go with Rajon Rondo off my bench.
Yeah, I like the pick, man. I like the pick. I would have taken him if Kidd wasn't on the board. Like, I was thinking between them, but Kidd's obviously the better guy. But Rondo this late, that's amazing value. If you're getting peak Rondo, too, like that's that guy. I like that. Okay. In a weird spot. In a very, very, very weird spot.
There are a lot of interesting names on here.
Yeah, like I'm looking at my team, like probably could definitely use another guard off that bench. I mean, I like my starting guard. I think they can run a lot. But Mo Cheek still being here, I think is an applicable pick, man. Good defender. Just a very sound, steady point guard. And, I think he kind of just fits the mold of what we're building. Guards that can defend. Not a lot of shooting, but, I mean, that's kind of what you get when you're getting guys that don't score the ball a lot. So I think Mo Cheeks is a prime pick here. And then my last pick.
Final round. You gotta make this one count.
Man, there's some names on the board. Not great names, but...
there are some names, yeah.
There are some guys out here. I feel like, so I got 4 guards on the roster. I need a versatile one, right? Guy that can guard multiple positions. Fits the mold of guys that can't really shoot in this draft. Might be one of the worst. But he can guard. He can speed up the tempo, get on the break, especially the best version of himself. I'm going to go with Ben Simmons. That's going to be my last pick.
I like it. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was gonna be left on the board. Like I thought maybe we were both gonna leave him.
Couldn't do it, man.
No, I like that pick. I mean, you got a guy who can play like multiple positions. He can play point. He can play power forward, even maybe center at points. And he can run in transition. I think with my last pick, as much as I want to give some reassurance for my small forward position, which is probably my weakest. I feel like, given that I have, Bill Russell and I have Yao Ming to back him up, I might want one other big just because like the injury concerns that might arise. I want to play it safe. And yeah, I probably will be picking another guy who has been known to have his fair share of injuries, but I mean, come on, we can't have like 3 guys and they're all out, like something's got to give. So I'm going to just go with who I think is probably the best available center left, and I'm going to go with Nate Thurmond.
Underrated guy, man.
Bulls legend, too.
Bulls legend, yes.
So
that's a good pick.
So, yeah, I mean, those are our, I guess, picks. I mean, I guess the best way to analyze this is, like, who who did you not pick that maybe you were thinking about picking? Is there anybody that was left on the board that you're like, maybe I was thinking about him, or you're like, dang, if I had another pick, he would have been on the team? I feel like this one's like, this is a very interesting list of.
Yeah, guys like Bill Lambier's kind of interesting. I think Rudy's a pretty like underrated find in this draft. I was kind of thinking about him. Those would probably be the two like main guys that I was kind of looking at them for the most part. There's some guys on your team like Corver, somebody I really wanted. Like I was close to taking him over Draymond. Those are probably like the main guys for me.
Would you have taken Corver in the next round probably if I didn't take him there?
Yes.
Yeah,
1,000%. He was gone.
So that was a good decision, I guess, by me then, because I was like, I know you probably wanted him on your team. But yeah, I think for me, like those are definitely guys. Bob Lanier as well. I was thinking like maybe with like at least Bill Bridges and Dolph Schayes, because I have them like on here as power forwards, but like I feel like they could play multiple positions, so I was thinking of them for that. Small forwards and shooting guards, like I think the only guy that maybe didn't get picked that I was thinking was maybe like Scott Wedman, like just because I feel like he's someone that could provide like a defensive presence and he knows what it takes to win. Like, but other than that, I mean, yeah, I mean there really wasn't much else, I guess. Like I feel confident with my team, and I feel like you picked a pretty good team yourself. So
it's a tough one, but yeah, I like my team. I think got enough shooting. The defense is definitely there, which, you know, it's there with your team as well. But enough shooting. I think the rim protection is very, very solid or elite. And just versatile lineups. Like, if you need to run some Ben Simmons in there, you know, Mo Cheeks can guard multiple positions, and Johnson. Like, and we got enforcers, man. Charles Oakley's going to come in, punch somebody in the face if he needs to. So it's solid, man. It's for guys that weren't the elite of the elite scorers. You know, it's a pretty good draft.
It's a shame no one picked Bill Gaber or Chuck Noble. There are some guys in here like
big shame, man. Frank Selvey,
Hot Rod Hundley. Dang,
man.
Maybe next time, wait, do a part 2 of the draft with the guys that didn't get picked. Man, that would be quite the episode.
Those would be nasty teams. Like who would be the first pick?
I mean,
I really don't know who would be the first pick. Like
maybe from like the guards, like Dick McGuire or like Don Busey, I guess. But like,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, Ricky Green's
on there. I was thinking him.
There's just a lot of not. But it's
I don't even want to say mid. It's just like. It's just role players that made all-star games, man. Yeah. Like that's what they are. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and who could forget the legend James Donaldson? I feel like he's more so one in the kind of not like recent era, but like recent enough that people talk about like how did he make it? You know?
Is he I think he's like the lowest ever like points per game.
I'd have to check. I think his was like 5. I think it was either maybe like him or like Rodman or maybe Ben Wallace or something. But obviously those guys provide so much of an impact, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Ben Wallace is like one of the most elite defensive bigs ever. And Rodman, one of the best defenders ever, was rebounding like crazy in his prime. So that makes sense. But James Donaldson was averaging like 10, 11 rebounds or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe next time these guys will get picked. A lot of centers remaining. So that would definitely be a nasty draft. But yeah, man, you guys are going to have to let us know in the comments below, I guess, like, who had the better team? Who would you have picked? And then, yeah, I mean, if you want to see us do another draft in the future, let us know, like, what are you looking for, I guess, out of that. But other than that, I mean, I think we're going to wrap this up. You got any final thoughts about this draft?
No, I think we both drafted some pretty solid teams. And once again, I appreciate the invite because it's always a pleasure, man, coming on to the channel. And drafting is always fun, man. We've done some good ones in the past.
For sure, man. Yeah, you guys will have to check down below. I'll have all of Reek's stuff. And you can, you know, go sub to him. You know, check him out on like Twitter, Insta, everything like that. But yeah, other than that, again, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and we're out. Peace.